Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Come along as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We will have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm World Hammer, True Believer, and Poetic Soul, Mike Scooby-Don't Collins, the introspective detective.
Hello, I'm Master Yogi, Master of Wind, the Songsmith, the Busiest Beaver, your new best friend, Yumpin' Yodeler Dan Collins, the Tanky Planker.
And I'm the Human Popsicle, Mr. Sunshine, Future Corpse, and Synergistic Mystic, Travis Greenicus Brabin, the Silver-Tongued Pumpkinist. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I want Travis to go first. No, I want Dan to go.
Okay.
Wow. Well, now, hold on. This isn't a dictatorship.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I think we vote that you go first, Mike.
You go first, Mike.
Yeah.
This is exactly what
How do you
I
like them apples?
All right.
The people have spoken.
Yeah. The people were manipulated by my...
Well, see, now I want to go first. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Go. Mike, go.
This is-
Do the thing.
All right, here's my idea. So this is going to be our last challenge for the year. We'll have one more episode after this that is going to be something else. So what I think we should do to kind of to finish up the year is we should convince people, as many people as we can, to do as many of our challenges as they would like to do. And we would, basically, if the person that got the most people to do the most challenges would win. That would err on the side of not just trying to manipulate people to do our challenges, but this actually, we'll try and do the ones that are good. Like that seem like they do good for a person. And then
Like Justin Bieber and...
Yes, Justin Bieber yodeling,
Yeah.
the no screens. And then what I was thinking is we should ask our listeners, to see if they would like to, or ask them to do our challenges, and then tweet at us or email us and tell us their experience, and then we'll mention them on air if they want to be mentioned, and then we can and then ask them to also say which one of us inspired them to do that challenge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mike and I had talked about this a little bit in the last week, and we thought that
Travis hates it. Okay.
I do hate it, but I do like the idea of having what we call the people's champion. Whereas, like, if people were to contact us and say who they thought was most compelling or who, like, an overall winner for the year, that person might get a bonus honorific of the people's champion, maybe.
Yeah. So maybe we could do that if we choose not to do this challenge. But anyway, the idea is we convince people to try doing these challenges on the grounds that they are beneficial, and we like them anyway. There you go.
Okay. Interesting. I kind of tried. I've tried to do that most of the time. Get people to do the thing. I think I got the most people planking out of any of the challenges, but I do try to get people to like join me on these, just because I don't like doing things by myself.
Yeah,
sure.
Or like I remember I was challenging people to like hold their breath with me and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I got a few people to do the ice plunge with us.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my life. I said life. I meant wife.
Your wife is your life.
She is your life. Yeah.
But anyway, that was pretty awesome. And actually, everybody that did it was like, "This is great. We should do this all the time."
Yeah, well, we got Charles to do it too when we were doing the final challenge.
True. We'd have to get him to do it again. Yeah, but
yeah. Okay. Well, Travis, what do you got?
Yeah. So, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, which is nigh, next week. I think we should do the thing that Mike sort of presented before a few weeks ago, and we
Presented
should do,
poorly.
yeah, gratitude journaling, writing down the things that you're thankful for. So this is kind of the inverse of the previous challenge that we did a bad job on and didn't get a lot out of. So instead of trying to make things happen in the world with the power of our thought, we should just be grateful for the things that do happen. And we should take time to recognize those things and help that, or to let that help us maintain a positive attitude and just to appreciate the things in our lives that we should be grateful for.
Man, that just
That is
sounds so
my,
nice.
It's
yeah.
a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel a lot better about myself if I did that,
How
just
would
life
how
in
would that
general.
look in podcast format? Like we just come in here and we just talk about the things that we're thankful for.
That's a good question. I hadn't thought that far.
Well, no, because I think you would be talking about like how it affected you more so than necessarily here's all the things that I'm thankful for, because they could be quite mundane, like whatever. It's like, oh, I'm thankful somebody didn't eat the last Pop-Tart. The act of showing gratitude, or at least inwardly showing gratitude, I would say if you can express gratitude towards people, that would probably be worth extra points.
I think
uh
we would be sort of in like meditation territory where it'd be kind of nebulous, but we could also be, you can present your case at the end of this to say, I was gratitude for this many things. If you did like a whole bunch of things and you had a bunch of unique things, that might present a strong case for you. Or you could like go into a lot of depth on the things that you are grateful for or the people that you're grateful are part of your life. So if you're like, I'm really, really grateful for these things, basically like a quantity versus quality argument or something like that.
yeah,
That could also be really boring to listen to.
it could be. That is a concern. But I mean, I feel like that's something we're going to need to do at some point, just because it's I think that's something people should do, so
Sure.
we
Yeah.
should probably do it as well.
Okay.
And
Sure.
maybe we can mention some things that people like, oh, I'm grateful for my dad too. I should,
Yeah.
let them know that I'm grateful for them.
Okay.
Yeah,
We could write poems about it. But wait, we've
we
already
could
done that.
we could do
We've
both.
already mastered that skill.
Yeah.
Might have to do like another, like, see who has improved in their poetry. you know.
Let's not assume any improvement has happened.
I thought we did actually like really good. I think like all three of us did. I was quite impressed with everything.
Well, all right. Let me tell you about my challenge.
Okay.
So many years ago, probably a decade ago, I've discovered that you can go online and become a minister. All you got to do is like fill out a form and your information, and then you can pay for like a thing to be sent to you. So
Hmm.
I became a minister, and I have since married two people. Like I've been not married them, but like married them.
Officiated.
Officiated them. Well, I guess I've officiated 2 weddings, so 4 people, yeah. Anyways,
There you go.
and then I was just actually recently watching this funny YouTube video. This gentleman named John Tron does a bunch of funny videos, and he did an episode or a video about how easy it is to get a boat license. All he had to do was go on there and like fill out he had to like play this game, and it took him like maybe an hour or 2, and he got a boat license. And I was thinking, man, that's really funny. I wonder how many certificates and licenses and things you can get just by going online and and filling out forms. So that would be my challenge and it's also a self-improvement thing because I mean, becoming certified to do things and like it opens up possibility. Like you get a boat license, you can drive a boat. So I want to see who can collect the most licenses, certificates, and that sort of thing. And I think an emphasis should be on not spending money on it if you can, or like a minimal amount of money. and then just see who can collect the best and the most.
I love that.
This sounds like a surefire way to get just a bunch of viruses on your computer.
I don't know. I mean, I'm an official minister. It's no joke. Like it's real, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I I get that. Oh,
I mean, you can there's a company that sells you like a 3 foot by 3 foot plot of land in Scotland, and can become a lord by buying that. Become
Yes.
a Scottish lord, because all you have to do is own land, and then you're a lord in Scotland. So you can put lord before your name. That's cool. I mean, it's like a couple $100, I think, but
yeah, that would not the fall under the not spending money
yeah. I mean, unless you
criteria.
really want to, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm already thinking of like some that would be, I think you can do. Hmm. All
I
right.
think that this is the argument for this being self-improvement is a little bit nebulous, but it does sound kind of fun.
Well, okay, well, let me throw this at so, um, having, like, a certificate or, like, an official document that says you can do something, gives you a lot of freedom. So, there's a lot of people who are like, "Man, I wish I could travel to, like, I don't know, like, Mexico or something, but man, I gotta get my passport." Like, how many people don't travel because they don't have a passport? It's literally just go and get a passport. It doesn't even cost that much money. I forget how much it costs, but,
It's like
like, all you
50,
gotta
$60, I think.
yeah, you just have to get the official documentation, and it's not that it takes a while for them to, like, process it, but you just have to, like, do it, you know what I mean? So and I think that that's a huge improvement for somebody's life is to just have the freedom to do a like, drive a boat or, like, I don't know.
You keep saying that, but how many opportunities to drive a boat are you turning down right now?
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't even think about doing it because I don't have a license to drive a boat.
All right. I like that one, but I think like a lot of those do cost quite a bit of money, especially if it's like a official government thing. I don't know.
Uh,
There's
I
a lot.
didn't I didn't spend any money to become a minister. I spent money to get, fancy official documentation, but I had the title without spending any money. I'm sure there's plenty other stuff out there like that.
Okay.
That's what I sort of wonder if this is like, you can probably become an official a million different things on the internet that, like, hold no actual value or any sort of certification, but just, like, akin to just printing your name on a piece of paper. Does that count?
I mean, I think at that point it's quantity over quality, but,
Like, you can probably become the mayor of Jupiter on some website on the internet.
you could own a star, isn't that a thing you can still do?
That
Yeah.
is true. Yeah. You can do that. And you can name it too. Uh okay. That's pretty good. I like that quite a bit. I'm a little concerned about the cost. Um but yeah. Uh,
It could be really fun to do.
I like it. I like the concept of it. It's pretty great. Okay. Let's pick one. What do you guys think? I still quite like mine quite a bit, and it wouldn't cost us anything. And I feel like it would kind of wrap up sort of the year quite a bit. And I'd like to see if we can get anybody that listens to us to like respond and be like, "Hey, I did this." You know. That would be great. If somebody just tweeted me like, "Hey, I did this too." I would be pretty so
Do you
stoked
have a
about that.
Twitter?
I have Twitter. I have tweeted nothing. I've had it for
No.
years.
You should tweet something. Otherwise, how is anybody gonna tweet to you if you don't
Well, I was talking about tweeting at like the
At
professional
the
accomplishments.
at
podcast.
the
Yeah,
podcast?
at the
That's
podcast.
sure. Um,
Yeah, I would like, it would be cool if people would, we see you guys listening. We know you're listening. Just say something. I'm
Please
just kidding.
talk to us.
it might just be
Please,
robots. Could be
please
aliens.
talk
That
to
could
us.
be. But could be really cool. The challenge itself doesn't speak to me because I like it strikes at the heart of me. Like, I don't want to tell anybody to do anything.
You
Even
don't
if
have
it
to tell
like
them. You gotta like convince them that it would be beneficial for them because a lot of the stuff we've done is pretty great. I know a lot of people that would like have already said like, "Oh, I want to try that," and this would just be like coaxing them, like, "Hey, you should do this for me." I suppose that's exactly what you don't want
Yeah,
to
that's
do.
literally telling somebody to. I mean, you're not like holding them at gunpoint and telling them to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that would probably be a good way to get somebody to do something, I guess.
Yes, I'm
yeah, you
not.
could
I'm
probably
not
win a
going.
challenge that way.
Yeah, I'm not going to endorse that.
What was yours again, Travis?
Mine was gratitude journaling.
Gratitude journaling. I mean, I like mine. I think mine would be. I really want to do mine. I was kind of excited about it.
Okay. All right. I think we're at a standstill. Everybody wants to do their own. Am I correct in this?
I don't want to do either of yours. Is where I'm at.
All right. If you
Let's do the if you have to choose thing.
okay, if I have to choose between you two, I guess I'm gonna go with Dan just because that sounds funny and interesting.
I would probably lean towards Travis, the gratitude journaling.
This didn't do us any good because if I had to choose, I would choose Dan's.
No, well, if you chose Dan's, then that makes it Dan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess in that.
So we'll do that one.
Because I'm like morally opposed to like, I don't know. I don't like trying to convince people to do something. It feels very like sort of manipulative. And maybe that's a self-improvement thing. Maybe we could get better at manipulating people.
Maybe
That
just get
doesn't
more
sound like something I want to
maybe
pursue.
just
I
get
think-
more comfortable
I
with
think
manipulating
is the right word. I would say encouraging people because I think a lot of people could benefit from it. Some of the stuff, so it's like it'd be more encouraging.
But it would be encouraging people so that we could win a challenge.
Yeah, well, everything we've done is so that we can win a challenge. So it's everything is tainted.
It's all
Even the
tainted.
even the gratitude journal is like, I'm so thankful. I'm more thankful than you.
Yeah, I'm so thankful
That
that I'm
for
better
sure.
at being thankful than these other two idiots.
It's all
So-
ill-begotten fruit.
All right. Well, I think the decision's been made. It's Dan's, right? If Travis, you're leaning towards Dan's, and I said I'm leaning towards Dan's.
Yeah,
That's
I think
it.
so.
All right. Okay.
Awesome.
So, all right. So if we're gonna do this, we need. All right. Let's talk honorific. Well, actually, before we do honorific, how it's just gonna be who has the most and best,
The
right?
most and the best, yeah. Like if you get like a really good one, that blows all the other ones out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who did the
I do know
best
what you mean.
job?
Yeah.
Like if
Okay.
one of us become like the Pope or something, you know what I mean? Then you
I
win, obviously.
Don't think it works that way, but maybe.
Oh.
We could
That's
be
the
the
thing, is
Pope
like
of
on
our
the
own
internet,
religion.
nothing means anything.
Well, okay, but it has to be like real. Like no like I mean, I could just like type up like I am the president of the United States. You know, like
Okay.
nothing like that. Like it has to be like a real actual thing.
Okay. So a real, yeah. So it's something that gives a benefit beyond just a title. Well, not a title, but like a what am I going for? It can't just be a nothing.
Like a
I
like a
gotta-
participation trophy
yeah, it
thing.
can't be that. It's got to be like you are certified in this. You're licensed to do this. You have lordship of this land, this plot of land.
Yeah.
You're credentialed. It's a credential of some sort or a ownership of something, right?
Yeah, yeah, just like an official like I was thinking like certificates, you know, or like title. Yeah. You know, yeah, like an official document.
Yeah.
That's-
Licensed forklift operator.
Yeah,
or
Yes.
something.
exactly. That type of thing.
Okay.
And I honestly like I thought I haven't looked into it at all. I don't know what the things are out there because I figured that would be cheating.
Okay.
What if we say you cannot spend money?
I mean,
think-
I think it's up because I don't think any of us really want to spend a ton of money.
Well,
So,
let's make a let's say the amount of money cannot be a determining factor of who wins.
Okay.
Like you can spend like, if it costs like $10 to get the like official thing or something, like that doesn't seem like too big of a deal.
I'd say it's a similar situation like Travis's tattoo that he got.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's the idea of the tattoo that it's there forever, not that it costed more than the stuff that we did.
Yeah,
you know?
that's like a lifelong commitment he made. And that's more what we were talking about rather than spending
Yeah.
the money on it.
Yes.
Sure.
And I think that's fair. So,
Yeah.
honorific. So, something credentialed preacher. Bona fides, bona fide bimbo.
I like bona fide.
Bonehead.
That seems insulting. You're not bonehead. You're a bona fide bucko.
Certified champion.
Too legit to quit. Legitimate sportsman. I kind of like that. Legitimate something.
Did we want to shift towards making these cool? Because these are not cool.
You can throw it out there. My brain doesn't. Cool is not my natural state, Travis. And I think that's
bona fide, qualified, disqualified.
How about the qualifier?
I hadn't thought this far. I should have thought.
I think
more.
we're running on E a little bit here. This is like the hardest thing to make sound cool. Also, person who fills out forms.
I don't know. I mean, like the script, the scholar, or like the man of many titles,
the jack of all trades.
Yeah, the king of titles,
king of qualification.
I kind of like
Here,
that.
the king qualifier or something.
How about King Mummy?
Shut up.
No.
Quit.
Negative.
I kind of like the well, we already have master, but I feel like the master of
I put Legiticus.
legitimate.
The
What?
Lord of Legitimacy.
What's like
that's cool
like-
though.
What's like a word for like a if you're trying to make yourself sound like a
Putting
man
on
about,
airs.
yeah, like a man about town, you know.
I think it's just called putting on airs. I don't know if there's
Dapper.
a word for it. Highfalutin, upstart crow.
Dapper Dan.
Dapper Dan.
What do we think about the Lord of Legitimacy?
I like that.
Lord of Legitimacy. Do we have a lord already? We don't, right?
No.
Legitimate Duke. I like the word legitimate.
The Authenticator.
The legitimate gentleman.
That's not bad.
The refined man.
See, refined is verging on not what we're doing here. I think refined is different. Captain Credentials.
There's a noun that is called a legitimist.
Legitimist.
It's an adherent, or wait, yeah, legitimism. That's a fun word. Legitimism.
What does it
Legitimist.
mean?
It means adherence to the principles of political legitimacy or person claiming legitimacy.
I like Captain Credentials or
Captain
something.
Credentials. Ooh, I do like that one. That's pretty good.
Captain Credentials.
I don't think we have a captain yet.
Captain Credentials.
Captain Credentials. That's my favorite. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one. That's my favorite one so far.
I mean, we just go with it. We don't need to keep going.
Captain Credentials.
Yeah, I'm into it.
All right. I'm good with that. Travis?
Yeah, it's good, probably good enough. We could probably spend another 40 minutes and not do it any better.
We've gotten bad at just picking one that we like.
I think we've reached good enough.
Well, it's okay. I don't want it to be good enough. I want it to be correct. You know what I mean?
It's not World Hammer.
It's not. Yeah.
Nothing will ever be World
But we
Hammer.
also spent like an hour and a half trying to think of World Hammer.
We did spend a
Yeah.
long time on it.
It's not a complicated thing.
All right, Captain Credentials.
Captain Credentials.
All right. So, do you guys have a forecast?
Who can Google the best?
I am a champion Googler, sir.
I think we all have. I think we all have the ability to do well on this. I think.
So this is also something that's it's going to take time, you know, not just
Yeah.
to find them, but like to like go through the paperwork, you know, like you're saying, like you have to, like that guy had to play a game or whatever.
Yeah, it's a very funny
And-
video.
But I mean, it takes time to play the game
Yeah.
and then fill out the form. So Dan has, you know, more time. Dan has more time than I do, and Travis, I think. So
Yes.
I think Dan has an advantage here, as he usually does.
That's fine. You want to give me a handicap or what?
No, I don't. I want to beat you. I want to bring you down, Dan. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think it's a relatively even playing field. It really just comes down to the
Yeah.
time investment.
All right.
So we'll see. You and I will have to be
Yes.
more clever.
Sure, I don't think will be a problem. All right. We have our challenge. We have our metric. We have our honorific. Let's do this.
Hi there, how are you doing? It's me, Dan. I just wanted to say thanks for listening. You guys are all just super great. If you guys are liking what you're hearing, you can tell a friend about the show. If you want to let us know how you feel about something, you can tweet us at incompetentpod, or we have an email, which is perpetualincompetence@gmail.com. Some other links are in the description of each episode, so you can just look there. But yeah, thanks. You're great. Back to the episode. Okay, bye.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then, we've tried to acquire as many impressive certifications as possible. Let's go through our general thoughts first, and then we'll see who was the most impressive these last few weeks. Who wants to go first?
I would like to go first, because, and I might actually jump straight into my credentials that I've attained. So I will say this this challenge has been an absolute disaster for me. I did very poorly because I mean, not to make excuses for myself, but here are my excuses. So I basically set a budget for myself of 0. I didn't want to spend any money on this one.
Oh, that would be hard to do.
Yes, that was part of it. The other part was there is a kind of, for a lot of this stuff, there's a significant time investment. Not everything. Some stuff you just need to fill out paperwork. But
Yeah.
for the stuff that was tickling my pickle, as it were,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys sit with that analogy, and then but the stuff that I wanted to do, it all kind of, like, they weren't long time investments, but kind of just due to the holidays and stuff, nothing panned out. I achieved nothing, and I'm sorry to everybody, because I wanted to. I did a bunch of research on what I can do, but it kind of nothing came to fruition. A lot of it was just due to the cost. So I'm sorry, everybody. I tried, but it just couldn't make it happen. I needed more time. And I requested more time from Dan and Travis, and they said, "No, Mike."
The world doesn't cater to your very whim.
so that's what happened.
We've been doing a podcast every 2 weeks. We could not break that cycle, even though we are literally going to.
Yeah.
That's
But-
maybe a nice segue. Do we want to do the show notes or the admin now, or put
It
that
might
in
as
the middle?
well, since we just had a super great segue into it.
All right, so here's our current plan with that beautiful segue. This episode, what I forget the name of this one is. This one's gonna come up and
Captain
then
Credentials.
Captain Credentials. That's what we landed on.
Is it?
Interesting.
That's
I
what
don't
Mike
know.
said.
It's been a while. Anyway, so this episode's going to come up, and then from you, dear listener, 2 weeks from when you hear this, another one will come up. That'll be like middle of December. And that episode is going to be us talking kind of a retrospective of all the challenges we've done so far. I guess all of the 2022 challenges. So, talking about thoughts that we've had about the challenge as time has passed, things that we're still doing, benefits that we're seeing, all that sort of stuff. So we're not going to be doing an actual challenge in the next 2 weeks. We're just going to have that episode come out with kind of a retrospective. And then the next challenge that we'll be doing will start in early January of 2023. So you can expect the 2023 challenges or the episodes to start coming out probably a little over 2 weeks into January.
And this time we'll be good at it.
Yeah.
No promises. We can never promise that.
All right.
It's basically it's basically a little break because we haven't had a single break except maybe a day or two every once in a while in between challenges where we've been constantly doing one, which is good because we're constantly improving our lives.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's also like, I don't know, Christmas stuff.
Christmas
Yeah.
and stuff.
So if you only listen to this podcast for the challenges, I would still encourage you to listen to the retrospective because I think that there's going to be some interesting stuff in there about the benefits that we're still seeing, which things we're still doing. I know that I think a lot to say about some particular ones, but there could be valuable insight there also. So look forward to that in a couple weeks.
I'm actually really excited about that conversation. I think it's going to be kind of fun to look back at what we did and if any of it's worth doing.
Yeah.
All right. Transitioning back, given that you didn't achieve any certifications, I have good news for you, Mike. You are still qualified and you still, in a way, you still achieved these things. So I'll go into my thing here.
Well, actually, before you jump in, can I tell you what I was going to do?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So, like, what I first started looking at was like actual like licensing for instance, a what's it called when you put a stamp on things when people sign
Notary.
their name?
Notary
Yeah,
public.
I was going to become a notary, which actually is really easy to do, but it costs money.
Yeah.
Yep.
I looked at becoming a Scottish lord, which only costs $45 for 1 square plot of land. But again, it was money it would have been really cool to be Lord. I was actually maybe doing it for me and my wife. We could be Lord and Lady Collins.
That's pretty cool.
That's one that I looked at, but I was like, that's all it is you literally just spending money.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of lame.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
didn't do that.
there's like some genius of a man, like or he like bought or somehow is selling titles to like pieces of international waters or like land, like he invented a country basically.
Oh, it's Sealand?
Yep.
Yeah,
I thought
Sealand.
to be a knight of Sealand. I looked at that as well.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I thought about it, and then like in the back of my head, some realization struck that I would be spending money to get a title and like something that doesn't even exist, and like that combined with the fact that I would get only a digital copy of like. It's like the most intangible and like stupid way to spend your money.
Yeah.
So thankfully, wisdom overcame that.
Both of those I had that same realization.
Yes, and I had another one that actually was kind of yes, I agree on all accounts. One of them that I kind of liked more than those was to get a star named after myself, and then I decided that's not really a certification, although it would be sweet.
Sure.
But then, so what I kind of landed on and where I was going to go, and I kind of ran out of time, and also they all cost some money. So in the state of Minnesota, there are certain types of quote unquote medical care you can provide to people. The technical term is complementary and alternative healthcare practitioner.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and what I found was you can get certified on Udemy for basically $10 per course, and a lot of them are like an hour long. So I was going to, but I opted out of it because I needed to save some money. But I was going to be a crystal healing practitioner. I was going to be a homeopathic doctor. I was going to be a meditation like guide. A acupressure. You cannot become an acupuncture person. You actually need some legitimate training from a place, probably because you stick things in people for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but I could be a massage therapist, an aromatherapist, a cranial sacral therapy, detoxification and practices and therapies, energetic healing, where like you put your hands, healing touch, where you just kind of touch somebody, like there you go, you don't have cancer anymore.
Yeah.
Herbology and herbalism, mind body healing practices. These are all courses that I found, and so that's the direction I wanted to go, and I wanted to say I am a certified crystal healer, but unfortunately I cannot say that I have that
Ah,
certification.
shucks.
Well, that segues very, very nicely into what I did. But before we get into that stuff, I want to tell you that you do qualify and you are already a few certifications.
Oh,
Wow.
great.
So in the state of Minnesota, there's no paper or certification or training required to be a bounty hunter. So you can just be that.
Okay. So yeah, well, okay. Because I was gonna do that, but because you're technically not certified, so you're not technically a bounty hunter.
Yeah, but good news, we're all bounty hunters.
Sweet.
Well, okay, I looked into the bounty hunter thing. I've spent a lot of time looking into it because you can register with a bail bondsman, like a bail bonds company. You can register to be a person that they contact. And I was 2 steps away, and then I realized, like, oh, this is actually like a real thing that I'm doing
Yeah.
right now. This is like a job that I'm signing up for. So I didn't click it. So
And you could, there are, like I did, in my brief bit of research, there are like recommended courses and things that you can do to make sure
Yeah.
you're like on the right side of the law, but you can just say that.
You can just say
You
it,
just
yeah.
are.
You just yeah.
I am a bounty hunter. Just call me Boba Mike.
Also in the US and UK, nutritionist isn't a protected term, so you can just say that you're a nutritionist. Just
Excellent. I'm that too.
Yep, you sure are. You know what
Well,
else you are? You're an NBA free agent.
No, yeah, I'm that as
You
well.
can just declare yourself eligible for the draft, and then you can put that on your resume. So anytime now, people are gonna come knocking for you. Other things that I looked into, there's a thing called the CERT, Community Emergency Response Team. This thing I might actually do eventually because it's just like you get like called on when there's natural disasters or if they need people to like fill sandbags or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That requires training to do, but it's kind of a cool way to support your local community. So I might end up doing that, but they don't have any training within our time frame. So that was a sort of valid and interesting one. You can go and be a wilderness firefighter if you can devote about 3,000 hours of training to it. Usually they'll pay for that training, but that's just like a job you can do now.
I actually know somebody who does that.
I do too, actually.
Yeah. It's a cool thing.
Yeah. You can be a short call substitute teacher if you have a degree or there's some stipulations otherwise. But that license costs $90, and you have to do like a fingerprint process, which is probably for the best when you're talking about teaching children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This I don't think counts because it wasn't done within the context of our challenge. But I am like certified basic first aid and CPR through the military. But that was before all this.
Yeah, I'm that too.
It's like I have certifications, just none of them that were gained this last 2 weeks.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, honestly, like doing this, I realized how many like certifications I actually have already, and I was like, "Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do CPR, and I can teach English as a second language. Something I've already been doing.
Yeah. That's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Another thing I looked at was fireworks display operator certification.
Oh yeah.
I want
That
that
costs
one.
$100.
What do
$100
you-
and a registration fee with the state of Minnesota.
That's it.
Yeah,
Like then you can just like buy any kind of fireworks you want.
You can get the big
maybe.
one.
I guess once I saw the $100 thing, I was like, this is enough for me.
Oh, this might be. I mean, that might be something I'll do later on this year.
Yeah,
just because
maybe
that sounds
in
like
the
something
summer.
I want to do. Just light them off in
Now
my backyard for the neighbors. The
Yeah.
big city ones, you know. All right.
Interesting.
Let's see. So those are some of the ones that I didn't do. I did do some though. I have a subscription to Udemy that I use for like tutorials for game design or Blender or whatever. So I looked at some of the ones that were included in kind of the subscription model there. So I went through a course and I am now a certified forensic psychologist.
Wait, what does forensic psychologist do?
I'm glad you asked, Dan. Forensic psychology is I sort of like what they show on like, Criminal Minds or like the people trying to read crime scenes and stuff. That's like the really glamorous part of it. But apparently most of what they do is like testify in like legal proceedings and like provide psychological examination for why people may have committed crimes and stuff like that.
And you're qualified to do that now?
Yeah, theoretically, this course was like mostly like so the way I went through these courses on Udemy, I was usually holding Eve and like it had a video with music or something for her to watch, and then I was doing the courses on the other monitor. So I like couldn't hear what was being discussed, but I turned the course transcript on. So I was basically reading the transcript, and that's how I did these things. So I did the course at 2 times speed because it was as fast as I was reading. So, yeah, I guess I'm theoretically certified and that I've completed this course, but I don't think anybody would hire me for it, which is tragic. So that one was, I think, a 3.5-hour course. But then, taking at 2 times speed, about 2 hours or something.
Uh-huh.
After that, I felt like I needed to learn how to accept life and how to help other people accept life and to make good commitments.
Sure.
So I am now an acceptance and commitment therapist, certified.
Excellent.
And this thing I fully expected to be sort of the crystal healing like you were talking about, but actually it's like, as I was reading and listening to the lectures, it was actually like pretty good. There's
Yeah.
like pretty valuable stuff in there.
Huh.
I was explaining to my dad over Thanksgiving like some of the tenets of this, and he pointed out that it's basically just a new coat of paint on Stoic ideals.
Oh, sure.
And kind of the whole thing is like identifying repetitive negative thinking and like catching yourself when you're doing that and just trying to like not control your thoughts. So like the hole that we fell in when trying to be overly positive.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like don't try to control them, just like let them pass. And there's like a big they're really big on metaphors in this doctrine. One of them is like, passengers on a bus thing, but it's also like your mind is like the sky and your thoughts are just like the weather that just like drifts by the sky. and you can just like observe observe it as it passes, but it will pass, and you just kind of wait. So that sort of thing. So just kind of that
Yeah,
mindfulness stuff that we've talked about.
that's very much so the stoic kind of thing, isn't it?
Mhm.
Interesting.
So I found it like I did it sort of jokingly as like I need a certification and this will give me one, but I actually found it to be genuinely interesting and actually interestingly echoed a lot of things that we've talked about on this podcast.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I thought about going in my professional life. I'm a like project manager and analyst, so I thought about just getting like a Scrum certification because I'll need that anyway. But that was just more. I kind of ran out of time for that one, so that's what I got. Those are my things.
It's pretty good. Those seem like useful things, Travis. Well, most of them.
So you have 2 certifications?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, on top of being a bounty hunter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's not forget that, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I was looking at them, the first thing I was doing was like free certificates online, and there's a lot of free certificates you can get, like that are
Yeah.
actually like really legit that would just take a lot of time. Like Google has a lot of these things of like how to use the internet and like how to use programs, that sort of thing, like Excel and like there's all these free things that probably be really valuable, but would take like a month or 2 to finish. So I skipped through all those. And I think I might have read that same article about the bounty hunter and the MBA thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of delved into like the NFL and NBA to see like, is there a way to get my name actually in the NFL thing? And like you can say you're a free agent, but that does absolutely nothing. But like I was trying to like be a free agent officially, but that you can't really do that, unfortunately. Like I mean, you can be like, yeah, I'll join the NBA if you want, but
Yeah,
like
make me
they're
an
not
offer,
gonna
guys.
yeah, they're not gonna make you an offer.
It's kind of like saying, like I'm an amateur astronaut.
Yeah, yeah. Like they have to like invite you because I don't know. I spent more time researching and trying to figure out how to do that than I probably should have. Um, but I actually went to Udemy as well, and I was trying to think what would be the best thing to get certified in.
Mhm.
So I centered myself, and I activated all my chakras, and I'm now a certified professional psychic.
Oh.
Can you do a reading
That'll
on
come
it?
in handy.
I can, yeah. I mean, I can read. I can do tarot cards. I can heal you by touching you.
Okay, prove it.
I can predict the future.
Predict the future.
Well,
Do a prediction for us, Dan.
it's gonna snow tonight.
I didn't realize meteorology was such a big part of psychicness.
That's what they said. That was part of it. That was legit part of it. They said like try to guess what the weather's gonna be like tomorrow, and then see if you're right, and then you keep doing that. I mean,
Nailed it.
I'm certified, so like I know how this works, you guys. There's
That's
7
pretty cool.
chakras. I've discovered that I'm primarily clairvoyant.
Mhm.
Sure.
My psychic ability is primarily focused on vision.
Mhm.
There's actually a whole lot of meditation involved in this, which is interesting because I'm already like an expert at that,
Yep. That's true.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah,
We know
no,
that you love meditation.
yeah, and it got interesting, but I have a certification, certified professional psychic. Professor Krishna Sharma was my professor, and it's just a bunch of videos that I watched, but it's yeah.
Did like genuine curiosity, did you find any of it like interesting, compelling, or was it like basically how to do street magic?
No, I mean it was all about psychic stuff. Not it wasn't like
Didn't
it
teach you like
wasn't
how to
like
do cold reads and that kind of stuff?
no, it was like the 101 course of how to get in touch with your psychic ability.
Okay.
Like intro
So
to spiritualism or
yeah,
something.
he didn't like tell you how to do the tarot cards, but he said like so you can get the tarot cards and like kind of learn what each card's about, but the way that you truly do it is you and this is where it got a little weird is you call on Archangel Gabriel
Mm-hmm.
or Michael
Yep.
and then tell them to pick the correct cards. And then there's a little bit of fairies involved. They kind of touched on a lot of different things and then a lot of chakras and meditation. But it's all involved. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Makes sense.
you need to be in touch with kind of the whole spectrum of the universe. I
It's
could
really
tell
good that
we can
the
talk
Archangel.
about this.
Well, maybe we will in a future episode. But I was gonna say it's really good that the Archangel Gabriel is just on standby to pick cards for people.
So like
Yeah, well, you have to say his name 3 times.
Oh,
okay,
sure.
so he doesn't just show up but just like, hey Mike or Gabe.
Yo, Gabe.
Yeah.
Jeez. Cool.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations.
There was a lot to I learned.
Before
So.
we started recording here, we're talking about the skill set that you bring to like home construction, and now you bring psychic skills.
Yeah. I could kind of sit everybody down and do a cleansing meditation. That's very important before you do anything.
Of course.
Shield, like a psychic shield to protect yourselves. There's a lot to it.
Good work.
It's really complicated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
understand
sure.
it.
Yeah, it's over my head. What else you do, Dan?
That's all I did. I didn't do any other ones.
Wow.
I kind of ran into a similar thing. I think I spent too much time trying to make like things that weren't going to work like the bounty hunter. I spent way too much time trying to get some sort of certification as a bounty hunter because I just thought that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But it would have required me to be like legitimately going out into like the real world.
Yeah.
and doing things that I was like, this is kind of for a joke, and I don't want to actually like start a new career doing.
Well, I'm
this.
glad you guys didn't go like, because it sounds like we all actually had a pretty similar experience. I thought I was just an absolute failure, but it sounds like this is actually like, if you want to take it seriously and get certified in things, first of all, it takes money. So you need to.
Well, yeah, and I will say, so with this psychic course, the only reason I was able to do it is because they had a Black Friday deal. Because normally it's over $100
Jeez.
for this course, but it was like $12
Oh.
because they had a Black Friday deal. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that for $12. You kidding me?
Right? If you're gonna jump into this, I guess you gotta be ready to spend the cash. I think that's what kind of the lesson is in the end.
It's either a commitment of time or a commitment of money for sure.
So let's talk about this in a meta perspective, and that as a challenge, as an exercise, would you recommend listeners go out and seek certifications for things that they have no interest in actually pursuing?
I would say no.
I would say no, not the way that we did it, because we kind of were just trying to like supermarket sweep, just get as much as we could. But I think because it's not hard to just get a certification. Like if there's something that you're actually interested in, like an Excel, like if you want to get good at Excel, just go take a course and get like a certification. Like it might cost you like $20 or something, but like.
But I mean, like, say you really are super into like crystal healing. Say that's your jam. There's pathways for you to like have some sort of legitimacy behind what you're doing.
Yeah. As much as it can get.
Well, apparently, I mean, it's when it comes to a lot of the stuff that's not, let's say, hard science. It's kind of like the more certifications you have, the more
Like I mean, the place like this wasn't the only place to get certified as a professional psychic. Like there was a bunch of different ones. This is just
there's
the cheapest
there's like
one.
schools. So like I was talking about the crystal healing thing. So like you could do the 2-hour course that I was looking at for $12 or whatever. But there's like school. You can go to like a semester's worth of like crystal theory. What types of crystals heal what sort of things. I was looking into all these things because at first I was like, get a. Because I guess in my mind I was like, all right, so if I just wanted to get like an actual like degree from some school, that shouldn't take me more than a week, right?
Right.
I don't know.
Getting like certified in something, it's like when you say it that way, it sounds like it's kind of a big undertaking, but a lot of these are not that big of a deal,
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think if you had the time and maybe just a little extra cash and you just wanted, like, you can legit put a lot of these simple things on your resume.
Yeah.
If like, I think as far as a professional development, this is kind of a good thing to do.
Well, especially you were talking like Excel and, I know like through Google and a bunch of other places you can get certified on like certain types of like computer technology, which is super easy. Everybody's familiar with it. You just sit down for a few hours and that is something that employers are legitimately looking for,
Yeah.
So especially if it's like, hey, I took a 10-hour course on C++, like you're hired.
So I think that the takeaway is that if you are, in the job market, or if you're just looking to grow your skills, this is a viable option, and that you can pursue certifications. And or even if you just have like kind of a learner's mentality and you like learning new things, like I said, I genuinely found value and like interesting stuff in the one course that I took, the acceptance and commitment thing. But maybe if you know, this is probably not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I feel like I've made my feelings about like being like psychics fairly clear. As much as how I feel about it, it was interesting to understand kind of the basic concepts from like the internal perspective.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that's true about anything, especially if it's something
Yeah,
that you maybe disagree with, I think there's always value in learning more about it from that perspective, not just from the skeptic or, a disagreeing perspective. I think that's always valuable. So if this is a pathway for somebody to, dive into learning things that they don't know about, this would probably be good for like, learn political theory from different viewpoints or something like that, you know. Uh,
Yeah, that's true. Kind of an immersion into contrary points or things that kind of an exposure to different ideas and concepts.
yeah.
There's probably value there.
I don't know if you'd want to pay for it.
That's true.
yeah,
It's unfortunate that we're not really looking for not subscribers, advertisers, because Udemy, we're
yeah.
willing to shill for money, but I will say like Udemy has like an enormous catalog of
Yeah.
just random courses, like every different thing that you can, maybe not everything, but there are many courses on very many different subjects.
There's a lot of those websites out there. I know like Lynda, that's one.
Yeah.
And like there's what's it? Yeah, there's a lot of them and they're awesome. If I had unlimited time, I mean back before I had children, I had a subscription to Lynda through my school, and I spent hours. I became like a professional Photoshop guy. I did like a 30-hour course on that. It was awesome actually. I learned a lot. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. How do we Mike, you have to decide, I think.
Well,
Well, Travis did 2 and I did 1. I think it's pretty.
and I did
I'm pretty
0.
clear.
Oh God, this is not an impressive. This is not an impressive one. We're good job, guys. You really knocked it out of the park. Really
I will
kind
say
of limped our way to success here.
one thing that Mike and I talked about, today at work was that I think next year we'll try to be more conscious about challenges that require significant time investment, sort of for this very reason, and that it can be both for us and for if we're going to try to recommend people do a challenge or try out an avenue of self-improvement, things that require a lot of time investment is like presents such a big obstacle to entry or to even attempting that challenge.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be a little bit more conscious of that. Like this one was fine, but it does get a little bit hard for anybody's schedule, let alone for
Yeah.
people with kids.
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
think the time commitment on this one, I didn't realize that it would be I put a lot of time into this. I only got one certificate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, because all of my time, I guess, was spent doing research, and
Yeah.
that really, it takes time. It takes time to do
I will
this
say-
stuff.
The acceptance and commitment therapist course was 6.5 hours.
Ooh.
Holy cow.
I did it on 2 times speed or whatever, like speed reading, but still, that's a lot of time. So-
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes. Well, I think Travis takes this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this to Travis
I
because
accept.
I don't think I even spent 6 hours. I don't know how long. Maybe 4 hours.
I don't
to
know.
do
Like
this.
some of the stuff we've done, I haven't spent 6 hours on. Like the plank one, I probably spent a grand total of 45 minutes doing that one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, this is one where it's sort of worked in my favor in that Eve just wanted to sit and take naps on my lap. So I was stuck in a chair and I just was reading / watching these videos on my second monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked out for me. What is our honorific on this one?
Captain Credentials.
Captain Credentials. That does ring a little bit of limping across the finish line.
No. It's Captain Certificate.
No, it was Captain Credentials.
Captain
That's what I
Credentials
wrote on
sounds
the thing.
better.
Yeah, it does.
It was Captain. I guarantee it's Captain Credentials.
We're going with that,
No
and if
way.
it's wrong, that's fine.
Record. I tell you what, Dan. When you announce Travis, do both of them.
Just do both of them.
Then cut out the one it isn't.
Okay.
Nah, we're okay with being terrible at this.
We do need a break.
it's a long time coming. I mean, I've honestly really enjoyed doing this podcast, but I'm really looking forward to not doing anything for a month.
Now presenting Captain Credentials, Travis Braband.
Thanks, guys. Thanks to everyone listening. As we sort of just said, I don't know that I can recommend this to everybody, but there is definitely some value if you are looking to put a few things on your resume or just looking to learn a little bit more about different ideas or concepts or even just different jobs or practices. There is a wealth of information out on the internet, and you don't even have to do it from a lens of seeking certification. It's kind of great. We live in the information age, so go out there and take advantage of some of the free and available information out there and just kind of broaden your horizons. Thanks for listening.
You did great. Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
For the last year, we've been competing in a series of low-stakes challenges, and now, at the end of the year, we're going to recap the challenges that we've done so far, and then we'll wipe the slate clean for 2023.